Ron Weaver here with Cougar Sports, ESPN The Fan, here with defensive line coach, associate head coach, Sione Po'uha. You got a lot of titles. Take us through the promotion first, through the offseason.
It's just been super awesome. Just trying to get together with all our assistant coaches and just do our best to be able to lift the culture and the vision what Kalani has, man. And so we just lock in arm in arms, and they were just to kind of take care of their farm and do their deal. But it's been great to be able to serve the coaches and be able to serve the players as well.
It's week 2 of fall camp. What'd you like from week 1 from the boys?
Man, just the progression, right? And one thing is you always want to see progression, especially now. We're not in spring ball, so we don't have anything, after this really. I mean, they're turning on the scoreboard, right? And they're changing the light bulbs, and so things are going to be in ink now. And so you have a little bit more urgency, but now you're solidifying a lot more things now, whereas in the spring you're kind of developing. Now it's more about sharpening, and so we want to see the progression between week 1 and week 2. And we've seen that in different areas. In some areas, maybe not as big of a jump as we want, but we're going to continue to make that progression. As long as you make that progression, that's what you want to see, especially at this time of the year.
What progression have you seen from spring ball to fall camp? A lot of returners, but some newcomers.
Yeah, a lot of returners, a lot of newcomers, but just kind of seeing you want to see a cohesion, right? That's number one. Everybody playing with chemistry, everybody playing together, meaning getting the timing and getting, the setup right, with the backers and with the front guys. And then after that, you just want to continue to see individual performances continue to increase, especially if even if it's a young guy, if it's an older guy, you want to see them to progress in their deal. And so you want to see the cohesion, the progression individually, and also progression as a group as a defensive line.
You said young guys. One of the young guys is Braxton Lindsey coming in, high-level 3-star, 4-star. What impact has he made? Look like he was winning with the runs earlier.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest impact that he makes is just who he is, right? He's a guy that just loves football. You know what I mean? Like, he's a guy that you'll probably catch on Christmas Day outside just throwing the football at someone, right? And so just that internal love that he has for it is really a driving force to him. And now, his physical abilities, his football IQ, you put that all together, man. It's fun to watch. Not only is it fun to be able to coach him as K-Pop and Coach Chad have done, right? But it's great to see him just play, man. It's fun to watch him play.
For the returners coming back, I mean, look, you guys got a couple of weeks to figure the depth chart out, but who are the guys right now running with the ones most likely going to be those starters coming back for the defensive line?
Well, we want everybody to train like they're the ones, right? Especially in the defensive line room, because we do a lot of rotations and we want to get fresh guys in there. You want to train everybody like they're a starter. So you want everybody to think like that. Yeah, now somebody going to be ahead of someone when it comes to, who's going to take this play or who's going to take that rep. Yeah, there's stuff like that. But you want to train your whole defensive line to be to have a starter mentality and a starter performance.
What's the plan for Nusi Taumapea? Obviously had a great season last year, but very effective 3rd and 4th down player.
Yeah, I mean, him just to be able to utilize his talents, his speed, his read, his savviness. And so, K-Pop's going to put him in the right position. And, Coach Chad is going to be able to coach him to do what he does, man. But just letting those guys do what they do, whether it be Nusi, whether it be Practice or anybody, right? Just putting those guys in a position where they can be naturally who they are, because that's who they perform. I mean, that's where they perform at their best.
Guy you missed last year, he's back. There's Justin Kirkland. What is it like having him back? What do you expect from him this season?
Man, super awesome. It's just the same things that we expected last year, if not more, right? He ended up trimming down, really skinny version of Justin Kirkland, as we see, but still never lost any strength, actually increased in it, and so be able to see him be able to perform at that weight and just continue to be that stout, defensive lineman, defensive tackle that we need inside. So we're looking forward to that.
What is it like having Keanu back, captain of the defense? Obviously was playing a new position last year, but I think he'll be more familiar with it this season.
Yeah, I mean, it just makes him more well-rounded. He knows what happened on as a 0, and now he obviously knows how to play the 3 technique. So to see him be well-versed around the line so that he can know how to play to the strengths of the defense, the strength of the line, and the call.
What do you like about guys like Hunter Clegg, Tausili, Bodie Schoonover? I think he's going to have a big season. It's a lot on the defensive line. A lot of talent, Coach.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot on there, and it's up to us as coaches to be able to orchestrate a good flow where guys can be at their best when they're playing in there. Like I talked about, obviously you're gonna roll your defensive line guys, and so we want to make sure we utilize each guys for each play, down situation, their strengths, and wherever they need to be relieved. And so it's our job as coaches to put them in the right position to be their best.
Is there a number you're planning on having to rotate? 8, 9, or just whatever flows?
Yeah, not really. I don't really have a number until you really get about a week and a half away from camp. Because right now, you just want to get the guys to be as sharp as they can, right? And then after that, once they're all sharp and they're put on, you just take which one's the sharpest and kind of pair them and put them where they're at. And so right now, that's why I said you don't really have a guy that's you name as one here, two there, right? Everybody's got to train like a one. So probably a week and a half before, and even when we get to a game, right, as we switch off to having our twos go in and somebody's rotating, right? We don't want to rotate a 2 for a 1. We want to rotate a 1 for a 1. And so that's the mentality we kind of take.
Like the 1 for a 1. Who's someone maybe it's from the media, maybe it's from Cougar Nation, that's not getting enough love along the defensive line? Who's someone that is going to shock maybe people this season?
Yeah, right now, like everybody's doing great at their own deal, right? In terms of their own progression, right? And every guy's been in there, whether it be a first guy or a guy who came off a mission or a guy who's been here for a while. Like everybody's making strides and progressions the way they're supposed to make it at their level, and what kind of impact that they'll have. Like those impacts could be seen in a game, and some of those impacts are probably seen in practice. And so to be able to highlight someone, I mean, it's all relative, if that makes sense, right? Because all of them, in a sense, do a good job. For instance, like if I got a return missionary who's taking a great first step, right? I mean, that's just as praiseworthy as a veteran getting a knockback and getting a sack, because in accordance, it's all relative. And so each of them have all made big strides on individually about where they are.
Let's go to the offensive side of the ball. Obviously, iron sharpens iron, as the saying. Who on the offensive line has just stuck out to you that's really pushed the defensive line to be better?
All right, Bruce and Kyle, for me, have been guys who've been pressing not only in camp, but since January, right? I mean, those guys are the ones that have the heavy weight rack, and they're squatting just toe for toe, if not more. I see those guys working, and so those guys are pushing. And so going from January all the way to spring ball, those guys have always been one that I've seen them with, with our guys just kind of ironing, iron sharpening iron, not only here on the field, but in the locker room and in the weight room. And so, but that doesn't mean you take anything away from Sione Po'uha or from Gentry as well, right? All those guys, all 5 of those guys, and the guys that are behind them, all those guys sharpen everybody together. And so we like to think of it as a line group. Obviously, that's the last group that comes out of the tunnel. Well, we come out of the tunnel last for a reason, and we come out together because we know that we're kind of the forces, the wall of the offense and the defense.
Game is won and lost in the trenches, as they say, no doubt. What have you seen from Bear in year 2? Seems like he's a little bit more decisive with the decision making in year 2.
Well, like anybody else, right? If you go to the second round, I mean, you're more familiar, you understand your reads more, and so for him, as a freshman, I mean, he knew what his reads were, so you can only imagine, how much better he gets in terms of his study. But one thing that really stood out to me is just his ability to bring the team together, right? Both offense and defense, and how the team has come together and be able to to listen to him as a leader, not because he's a quarterback, but because he goes out there and he talks to guys. He goes to parks and plays his guitar and sings, right? So he's really out there, really just connecting with people, both offense and defense and special teams. And so guys gravitate to him, and so that's a great thing to see that happen.
Last couple of things for Coach Sione Po'uha, the associate head coach of BYU Football and defensive line coach. When you think about expectations for the season, it was a great year last year. It's been a while since BYU's had back-to-back 10-win seasons. Let's talk about the college football playoffs. How do you maintain the humble and hungry mentality to not get affected by the outside noise?
Yeah, so we just make sure that we keep the result and the outcome not as something that we're chasing, right? But just really chasing the best of who we are and really just perfecting our process and our routines. And so whether that be our routines of recovery, routines of eating and diet and all that stuff, or even how we practice and even how I do my drills, right? Because that's something I can control, right? And so if you can control the controllables as best as you can, the outcomes kind of come in your favor a little bit. Now, you don't know how it'll come exactly, right? But if I can control the things that I can control, which is, how I practice, the process that we're at, then we have a better chance at having the outcomes that we desire. And sometimes they might even be better.
100%. How special is it going to be to have Notre Dame in Lavelle Edwards Stadium in October, though?
Oh, it's awesome. It's going to, it's special to have all the guys, right? It's special to have Notre Dame. Each team that comes into our stadium, we got Arizona, Utah Tech, right? Those guys come in with such great teams and, great coaches and great players. And so they all bring an identity into the stadium that, we love to play against, and we love to play, against those guys. And so, we're super grateful to have all the teams come to Lavelle Edwards Stadium.
All right, enough football. What have you done this offseason? Our coaches had to have some downtime, some vacation. Football's great, but what have you been up to?
Yeah, man, I've been chasing the sun, meaning I've been in different time zones. I've been to Tonga, been to Hawaii, been to California, went to tons of different places. Went to Tonga and did some humanitarian aid. Went there with Kalani and Fessy with some of our players. Then went to Hawaii for a little, just a date trip with my wife. And so been able to get around and get away from the game. But, I was chomping at the bit to be able to get back and be in this position. It was good to get off, but it's good to be back.
How was that experience in Tonga? Take us through that, what that was like.
Oh, man, it was super awesome, right? Kalani's origin, my origin, and so a lot of us had a lot of connection getting back to the islands, and so really to go back and kind of see where they're at. Tonga's still not fully developed, but, that's what makes Tonga who Tonga is, right? Keeps it a nice, humble and a loving and a God-fearing country, and so for us to be able to go back and connect with our family members and really just connect back with the country was super awesome.
The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, prides itself on having, so many cultures, so many ethnicities, bring that. How impactful has that been for you to be able to showcase that, at BYU and be able to represent that, and honor that?
Right. Diversity is the beauty of a bouquet. You know what I mean? And so if you got different type varieties of flowers and stuff like that in your bouquet, it makes it more beautiful, right? It's just there's just vast variety. And so us as humankind is kind of the same thing, right? The thing is we got to tie that into one bouquet rather than just single flowers. And so to be able to do that is a super awesome thing. It's rewarding for not only the people in the bouquet, but for the people that we serve. And so we love being able to do that. And so just celebrating diversity is a beautiful thing.
Last thing for me, my breakfast question of the day for you. Are you more of a pancakes, waffles guy or neither at all?
All right, I'm going to answer it like this, right? So I'm a pancake guy, okay? But I'm a pancake guy with a little bit of bacon because you need a little bit of, you kind of need a little bit of salty, right? Next to the syrup, right? Okay. But here's the thing, you can't put syrup on the bacon. It has to mistakenly fall on the bacon.
I like that mentality.
There's a difference, right? When the syrup mistakenly falls on the bacon, that's when it's got the secret touch.
I love that you said that because a lot of people just dump syrup on the bacon.
You got to see because you never know. Like it's really the syrup's decision if it wants to take some of the whipped cream or the butter with it right to the bacon. And so, however the bacon serves it up, man, that's the best way to do it.
Love that, Coach Sione Po'uha, everyone.
Cool. Thank you so much. Thanks.